And it's been another week. Today we are going to talk about action in movies and what makes the best action sequences, in my opinion. And I feel like it comes down to one particular thing. What we're looking for in stories is exactly what we're looking for in action scenes, and that is for a narrative development. We want to know what somebody wants, and we want to see how they go about trying to get it. That's the same thing that we want in every story. We know what somebody wants for the entire movie, but every action scene should be its own goal. Because currently there's this thing going on where some filmmakers and some people who make content for the internet think that action in and of itself, just action, is interesting. And that's not really the case. Like, the idea of people fighting is going to be interesting in and of itself, but that's how you end up with scenes like this. The only evolution in this scene is that they end up in different locations doing the same exact thing. That would never work in like a conversation scene, because our minds crave new information, a new development, so that it's not the same as it was at the end. And so when you have this kind of thing, it's like having a conversation scene. Like, you take a brilliant conversation scene, you watch it, okay, you've seen it. Now the next scene in that movie is going to be a different conversation, because The Social Network is all about conversation. But let's say instead of that, what they did is like, okay, so let's take that same conversation and put it in this location. And now let's take that exact same conversation. They've heard it twice, but like, let's put it in this location and let's see what happens. All they're doing is the same stuff over and over again, but they put it in a new location and ooh, it's supposed to be interesting again, but it's not. Minutes on minutes of this same action. Sure, you get a couple cool moments like, ooh, sparks. Look, sparks are really cool to look at. Oh, well, that's over. They're doing the same thing again. Inherently, what we want in a story is to gain information. It doesn't have to be like a learning experience, but gain information about somebody and what they are capable of. In order for just the action itself to be interesting, it has to be at such a high level as to be completely daunting. You know, you have to be looking at that thing like, how are people capable of this? It has to be so physically impressive. It's like watching, you know, ballet dancers. You can watch a ballet dancer do impressive feats, and just watching the dance itself, it keeps it interesting. But even if you're looking at really impressive choreography and really impressive athleticism, it helps to have the fight itself evolve. And constantly. The thing that keeps things interesting is guessing what's going to happen next. If the action within the scene keeps evolving, you're like, who's better with a sword? Oh, okay, well, oh man, what's a sword like against that thing? Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Oh, man, well, what's that now? What even is that? How's that against us? That looked like that would hurt, you know? So, like, it's that kind of thing where they keep engaging you over and over again. You have 3 little battle sequences within one sequence. They all last a short amount of time, and they keep evolving as they go. If the only thing your action scene is like a fight scene between 2 characters, all it is which one of them will beat the other. And if one of them's the good guy, and one of them's not the main bad guy, I mean, there's not even there's no question about who's going to beat who, and all you have to do is sit there and wait for it to be over. It's especially going to be less interesting if one of the characters is CG and the other is definitely not an athlete. And it's going to be less interesting if both characters are CG. There's no stakes whatsoever because you know it's not real. And even if it was real, I don't know if robots feel pain the same way that I do, so I can't relate to what's happening. And I know that there are people who enjoy but especially Revenge of the Fallen, you guys, that end action scene went on way too long and did not evolve enough. These CG creatures at least look human, so you can kind of relate to them from a human perspective. If all they have is one move, and they do it all over again, throw, smash. Punch, throw, smash. Throw, smash. I saw it 2 times, I saw it 3 times, I kept seeing it. Oh, well, he threw and smashed some guys over there, now he's gonna throw and smash these guys. Boring. The best kind of action scenes are like action sequences. You can constantly evolve, and not just through location, but through situation, and different obstacles coming up that need to be overcome, okay? And that keeps the scene evolving, and you see how your character now will deal with this situation, now will deal with this situation. Each time something comes up, you're like, oh, well, I'd be dead. And then you see how they overcome it, you're like, that dude can do anything. Let's talk about one of my favorite action movies of all time ever, and my favorite sequence within that, the Die Hard rooftop scene. If you don't want to get that spoiled, to be talked through this little sequence, click right here. It'll take you to the next one. You can choose whether or not you want to watch that. Okay, so you got John McClane, all right? He knows that the bad guys have put the explosives up on the roof, and he knows that they've brought all the hostages up there. His objective, pretty much just to get everybody off the roof before it blows up. Gets up there, no one's listening to him, so he starts firing, so they all head back down the building. But the helicopter thinks that he's a terrorist, so now they're shooting at him. He can't get back in the door. He has to jump over here. Oh, great, now they got him pinned down and the roof's going to blow up. What's going to happen next? How's John going to get out of this one, you wonder? Oh, wait, okay, here's a fire hose. What the hell is he going to do with with that. Oh no, no, he shouldn't be doing that. Jumps off, roof explodes. Okay, great, he escaped. He's still alive. Oh wait, but now he's trapped hanging next to the building. Can't do. What's he gonna do now? Okay, that's a pretty good idea. Oh, thank goodness, now he's safe. What? Now he's not safe. Oh my God! What is he gonna do? Oh, jeez, I'm crow. John guy's gonna fall in the building. Oh my God! Oh, amazing. See, now that is a constantly evolving storyline of an action scene. And the best part about that, too, is if it looks like the character can barely handle what's happening to them. That is one of the tensest things ever. Okay, let's talk about another one. Awesome. And this is a fight scene, but it's a fight scene involving many perspectives and an ever-evolving situation. Mad Max Fury Road. If you haven't seen it, don't want this sequence spoiled. This is my favorite action sequence in Fury Road, and it has nothing to do with the cars. It's all like a hand-to-hand kind of deal. And some guns. Click here if you don't want that spoiled. You can jump right past it. Fury Road. Okay. Max just wants to be freed from the chains and to be left alone. But Furiosa thinks that he's a danger, so then the fight breaks out. So they fight for the shotgun. Shotgun's empty. Max starts wailing on Furiosa. The pregnant lady gets involved. They pull him off by the chain that's connected to his head. Then the war boy wakes up. He thinks Max is on his side. So then the war boy gets Furiosa, and now Mad Max has to deal with him. Well, the prisoner ladies are trying to mess with him, and then Furiosa's going to kill him again with the gun. Now they're fighting for the gun. The war boy's dealing with the prisoner ladies. Even though Max is not on the war boy's side, the war boy still doesn't know that, so he ends up helping him with the gun situation, and it ends in the coolest possible way. Now that is a cool action scene, alright? And it's all because all of these different perspectives are happening within there at the same time, and everybody has to contend with each other, and you know where they're all coming from, and you know what their objectives are, and there's just enough variables to keep it interesting the whole time. And it doesn't go on for forever, alright? You know it's got to be resolved, it gets resolved, and then they move on from there to the next awesome action sequence. Fantastic staging. How are they going to beat this? You know, how is it going to happen? You're always wondering. If you stop wondering, then the action gets boring. Also, helpful tip, if you can do something for real, and you do it for real, Tom Cruise knows, all you gotta do is take a guy, strap him to the side of the tallest building in the world, and get an IMAX camera looking down. Boom. I feel in danger. Apparently I also like guys having to smash through windows at the last possible second to save themselves. That's a thing we now know about me. So that's just my thoughts about action sequencing and how to do it effectively and what actually works, why some action movies feel boring to us. They're not actually posing any questions with their action. Perspectives and questions. Not just good for narrative storytelling, good for action sequences. One more thing this week. I finally put up the final Intro to Pops trailer. Intro to Pops in a minute and a half. I want to put it into our main channel place, but I need a few more views on it first. The last Intro to Pops trailer has over 18,000 views on it. Okay, now that's because it's been sitting on our main page for a while and it gets passed around, stuff like that. That's how people introduce people to the show. But when somebody who hasn't seen the show clicks in, check out the intro trailer and sees that it has, 18,000 views, they're like, oh, okay, that kind of legitimizes it more than currently the new Intro to Pops trailer has 1,500 views. That's fantastic. But for somebody clicking in, they'll take it less seriously than something that has 5,000 views or over, just kind of the nature of the way people, when I click to a new page, I'm going to watch the video, at least I'm going to give it a certain amount of time, but I'm more likely to give it a longer amount of time if I look down and see that it's been viewed a certain amount of times. The view count is the new legitimizer of kind of video content. At least when people are clicking in, they know whether or not people are interested in this thing. If you guys could check it out and then pass it around, just get that view count up, then I can finally make it the main video on our page. That's what's going on. If you could pass that around, I would really appreciate it. Maybe some more people will like the show, but that's not actually the objective right this minute. It's just to get the view count up, which seems a little mercenary, but, that's how we do it. I just bought some new envelopes to send out some more Pops stuff, so I'm going to be getting to that. That's the Pops logo. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you feel like you learned a little something about action sequencing, or at least that this was mildly interesting to you. Pass that trailer around if you have the notion, and even if you don't have the notion, please pass that trailer around, and I will see you guys in a week.